Hey everyone, this is D, Movie Man, fellow cinephile, popcorn addict, and emerging film critic, coming to you with reliable recaps, reviews, and reactions. And I am dropping in to quickly give my thoughts on the Traitors and how the season closed out because, yeah. So my initial thought was I should probably just do two separate recaps, episodes 7 and 8, and then episodes 9 and 10, and then, wrap things up with a finale and, the reunion, my thoughts on that. But honestly, the way that the finale closed out, it's a no for me, dog. Absolutely not. I'm kind of relieved I didn't put that much effort into it. Not in a negative way, but it was just like, for that to be the outcome, no. And I understand these shows can go either way, but I thought the ending was some BS, for lack of a better phrase. So, what I can say is that when I gave my thoughts last time, I was celebrating and cheering on Phaedra for taking down Trash Can Dan. His effort and plan to expose her and get her out failed. Unfortunately, by him laying the, I guess, groundwork, it was really a snake move, but he considers it his strategy or whatever to get Phaedra out. And she's able to kind of like circumvent that, but then of course Trishelle's like, "Oh, I'm thinking maybe she is a traitor, and maybe this, and so on and so forth." I'll have more thoughts on that particular contestant in a second, but we eventually see Poverty leave. Poverty and her headbands and her, her smize thing that she did. My mom honestly said she felt like that had something to do with Poverty getting a little something done, if you know what I'm saying. If you're picking up what I'm putting down. So there's that, but she is eventually, she is banished and she has to admit she's a traitor. So she's out, so that just leaves Phaedra, who of course has to recruit another traitor. And I think this was the beginning of the end for Phaedra because I felt like had she chosen differently or just chosen and really thought about the end game and not just who might be, and I'm not saying she didn't have a strategy in mind, but it didn't feel like it. And I just felt that her decision to choose Kate was a no-go. And I like Kate, and Kate is entertaining, but it almost felt like it was more so for Kate's witty barbs and her, her one-liners and things like that, and just how they would, be traitors together. But I don't think she was thinking about like how would Kate actually work as a traitor, because as we saw, Kate was was oh my gosh, was barely keeping her head above water. She was like, "What's the plan? You don't have a strategy. Like, I don't know what I'm doing." Like, so that didn't go well. And I think it was already not the smartest idea because Kate had already been, advocating for Phaedra. She seemed to like Phaedra, but my thing is if you have someone who's already advocating for you and saying like, oh my gosh, no, she's not a traitor. Like, have you like basically the way she gave Dan the business and was kind of co-signing and taking up for Phaedra, automatically I would have been like, yeah, no, because she's already on my side. So if you think I'm a traitor, then she's likely gonna think, So it didn't. It would have already been too easy to have a link to Kate in that sense. So I think she probably should have done Sandra because I don't think Peter at that point was going for it. I mean, I'm sure there are other selections, but I think Sandra's my girl. Like, I am definitely a huge fan of Sandra, just off the strength of Survivor, man, and revisiting the old seasons with her in it. Yeah, I totally get why so many are a fan. My mom has officially roped me into the Survivor Hive or the Survivor fan club, Team Survivor, whatever you want to call it. And Sandra is, yeah, that's my girl. So I was definitely glad that she was a part of this season. But I'm telling you, Phaedra really messed up. And so I think by the time she realized that it was too late to really do anything about it, and I don't think that she chose the right people to kill off. Her or Kate chose the right people to kill off, and it just didn't go the way it should have. So finally, when it came down to it, it was like, okay, Phaedra, ain't no way out of this one. And then I also don't think she helped herself she didn't have another person to mention. Like, she didn't like, and she was good at kind of getting it in at the round table, but when it came down to actually saying like, okay, well, this is who I think is a traitor, and let me throw this name out. And so by the time we got to her final episode, you could tell she was kind of like, all right, this is kind of it. It's a wrap. Okay, and I was sad to see her go. Regardless of how you might feel about Phaedra, and I have very complicated feelings about Phaedra as well, but I cannot deny that she is definitely a Bravo highlight, and she is definitely a Bravo icon, definitely a Real Housewives icon as well. And I think she worked so well. I think she was the best part of the show. And I'm sorry. It's just, there's no getting around it. There's no denying it. Just, and I think this reminds me of the Phaedra that I liked when she first came on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Just very quirky, very funny. Just, the one-liners and the jokes and, just being quirky and funny. I just think, I understand people love Phaedra for being the shade assassin, but to me, where she ended up kind of going, the direction she took with that, I wasn't 100% into that. It's just, some of it got to be too much. Some of it was a little too dark, and I'm not, there's a whole lot to be said about that. But as far as this show, it was like, yes, it reminded me of what I liked so much about her to begin with. So when she left, it was kind of like, all right, So it's interesting that it worked out that there was only one more episode, I believe, because it's like, ain't nothing else going on. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, when it came down to it, we basically got a whole bunch of faithfuls out. We obviously got the last traitor that the original traitor, the last original traitor out, and so we get down to Trishelle, CT, MJ, and Kate. I already knew that Kate was probably going to be out soon, but then they get down to the moment where they have to, throw their magic dust, I guess, into the fire. And, if it turns green, then we're go. If it turns red, then we still have a traitor and we have to get them out. And like I said, I knew it was going to be Kate. I think Kate was just like, yeah, that's fine. I wanted to play. I wanted to be a traitor. I came back. It's all good. Didn't win any money again, but that's okay. She makes her way onward. Back home, where I'm sure she's excited to just, chillax and not have to deal with this foolishness anymore. But then, that whole moment at the end where I guess Trishelle decides she's going to turn on CT and vote him because she thinks he's a traitor. And MJ just the writing was on the wall, but she didn't see it. And so, she voted, and before she knew it, Trishelle switched up, and they both then voted MJ as the traitor, knowing good and well MJ is nobody's traitor. I was just like, wow. So there are still traitors left in the game, but it wasn't MJ. Oh my gosh. I didn't know there were additional traitors in the last episode, in the final moments of this season. I was just like, I thought it was just so whack. So whack. Because my thing is, you clearly didn't want her to get any of the money. It's just like, you have the faithful, declare it and be done, but you guys decided, oh no, I'm just going to, let's just split the money between us. And I just think that's weak. People can say, MJ didn't contribute as much, her game wasn't great. I feel like if you've made it to the end, it really doesn't matter. Now, if you wanna do it that way, you can. But I think it's dirty. And I just feel like, even though you are the winners of the game, to quote the iconic Nene Leagues, you never win when you play dirty. You never can win. And you may have won the money, but that put such a bad taste in my mouth. And I was just like, and let me also say, like, CT winning would have been one thing, CT and MJ, or even if it was all three. But I was already not here for Trashelle from the beginning, and I was reminded of why she's called that by so many, because I already didn't really care about Trishelle one way or the other. But then, as we went along this season, and I saw her strategy and the specific people she was getting out the game, I was like, oh. And then I was reminded, oh, she's also done very questionable things, in the shows that she's participated in. So I was just like, oh, okay. Yeah, and I just the fact that, and just the way she was with the, I haven't gotten a shield, and just like all of it, I was just irritated continuously. I kept thinking, like, this is the chance, get her. And granted, I understand I said things about even Sheree, but Sheree to me was actually funny on this show. Just the fact that she was clueless and she didn't really know what was going on. But, I still have a soft spot for Sheree, even though Lord knows she's been in her struggle era as far as, Real Housewives. But still, it was fun. Like, it was fun seeing her. And I just felt like when it came down to it potentially being Sheree or Trishelle surviving and making it to another day or another breakfast, I was like, okay, Sheree's just gonna float. And then Trishelle, I was like, oh gosh, there's no getting rid of Trishelle now. And that's exactly what happened. And I think that she's called Trashelle for a reason, like I said. And I just, no. So honestly, I'm relieved. I'm happy. It was just like, you know what? I don't even feel bad that I didn't give additional thoughts, because it was just like, no. I guess congratulations to CT and Trishelle. Yay. Okay. Yeah, I'll just say this. Compared to the first season and how that concluded, nowhere close. The real world challenge people who are excited, good for you. Like, y'all won, right? But for me, womp, womp, womp. No thank you, return to sender. I will say overall, the season was still really enjoyable. I had a fun time watching it, and all the different people from these reality shows, not just Bravo. We had a lot of Bravo celebrities, in this season, but, Real World, The Challenge, along with Housewives, Bling Empire, we had Love Island, The Bachelor / Bachelorette. I'm forgetting. Shahs of Sunset. Well, that's also Bravo, but still. And then, of course, we had Drag Race, Survivor, Big Brother, and so on. So I think, of course, naturally, I think that was just, a really fun aspect of the show, just seeing all these people that, for a good amount of them I was familiar with. I would say like more than half probably. And then for the folks I didn't know, it was fun to see them interacting and kind of being introduced to them in this show, because I'm sure watching them on their respective shows, I'd probably be like, eh. And then some of them I still didn't like, regardless of whether I'd seen it or not. So that's just how it goes. And then as far as the reunion, I did enjoy that as well. Again, Phaedra was a star of the show. When she was asked about Dan and she gave him the business again, I was just like, come on, Phaedra. Like, you already know. So
you wanted me out the game.
And
not
your
because
reaction
I did.
was?
Piece of shit. Oh my God. Yeah, he's trash.
Yes, like, my mom has been repeating that line she said about Dan over and over again. I'm just like, Mom. But I get it, because it was a moment. It was easily the best moment of the reunion. So overall, I still enjoyed it. I still enjoy this franchise, or this series. This, just this as a new reality competition series. I'm excited to see this continue to flourish. I love the fact that it's also global, and that we have international versions of it. So now that US is over, I'm probably gonna watch UK. I'll probably give it a few more episodes so I can just kind of roll through, because I'm not gonna lie, going from episode to episode has kind of been a struggle, especially after, the way some of them have ended and the cliffhangers. I'm like, bruh, you're killing me. But yes, I'm definitely going to watch UK, and I will definitely be watching Australia. I'll probably, even though it's gonna seem weird, but I'm probably gonna circle around and do like my ranking. It's basically from the first recap that I did, but it was too long, and I just figured I can just section this off and circle around later. So I'll probably post that after this. But as far as the Traitors, I look forward to more, and I think I'm really excited to see it become just another memorable, long-running reality competition series like Survivor, like Big Brother, like The Amazing Race, because I enjoy all those shows, and of course the shows that the contestants were from here as well. But reality competition series, I'm telling you, I've continued to just love and love and love those the older I get. So the fact that the Traitors is now making its mark as another one, and that people seem to also be enjoying, I'm very, very excited for that. But yes, ending aside, I had a fun time. So with that said, you guys feel free to check it out. Of course, it is on Peacock, so is the UK version and the Australia version. You guys feel free to check it out. Leave your thoughts below and let me know what you think. So, once again, this is D, Movie Man, signing off. And I'll see you with the movies.